The latest selection box has one of the most iconic staples of all time in Yu-Gi-Oh!, Compulsory Evacuation device. It's so good that it's even limited to 3 right after it is released. It is undoubtedly a really strong trap, but being a card from a selection box, is it really worth that much of your money? Compulse has an extremely simple effect to return a monster back to the owner's hand. This effect is short and simple, but just like MST and Book of Moon, it is extremely strong and has a ton of different applications. The main use of this card is to, of course, bounce your opponent's big boss monsters back to their hand. If you're using it on a small monster that could be summoned very easily, this card is less effective than cards like Book of Moon because your opponent can simply just normal summon it again next turn. But if you're bouncing an extra deck monster, it returns to the extra deck instead of the hand, which not only removes it from the field, but also prevents any of their graveyard effects from triggering and bypasses effect destruction protection. A major appeal for Compulse is that it requires absolutely no cost for activation. Typically, traps like these that get rid of monsters have some sort of cost, like the discard cost of Karma Cut, or in the case of Bottomless Trap Hole, it has restrictions on what monsters you can use it on, and can only be activated right after your opponent summons a monster. Compulse has no cost at all, which is amazing news for decks that cannot afford a discard cost. It is also more generic than Bottomless Trap Hole and works on all monsters, as long as they can be targeted. Another use for Compulsory Evacuation device is to bounce your own monsters, either to dodge your opponent's targeting effects, or to recycle monsters and use their effects again. For example, you can return a monster flipped face down by Floodgate Trap Hole back to your hand, for you to summon it again next turn, similar to how you can dodge Karma Cut by using Book of Moon on your own monster. The versatility of Compulse is what makes it so good, like Book of Moon. So, what are the main drawbacks of this card over other staples like Book of Moon? As I mentioned before, this card is only effective against extra deck monsters or boss monsters that are very hard to summon, otherwise your opponent can simply just normal summon whatever you bounced right away, but even then, it will either waste their normal summon, or force them to wait for a turn before they can normal summon it again. Another thing is that Compulse targets. In some cases, having a non-targeting monster removal like Bottomless Trap Hole or even Drowning Mirror Force is useful against monsters that have target protection. Obviously I'm just nitpicking here, Compulse is undeniably really good and is one of the best staples in the game. If Compulse is so good, is it worth spending money to get it from a selection box? My short answer is no. You should only ever buy selection boxes if you don't have the majority of the other cards inside, otherwise you'll just find yourself getting the 6th copy of a super rare that you already have. Compulse is really good, but there are tons of alternatives, ranging from expensive top-tier staples like Book of Moon and Bottomless Trap Hole, to cheaper super rare staples or even free-to-play staples like Void Trap Hole and Enemy Controller. Also don't forget that Compulse will be released in a future box anyway. So it's not like you won't be able to get it forever even if you refuse to buy the selection box. Thanks for watching, goodbye.